I wanted to play. I wanted to give myself one more opportunity to play. And I had a couple offers, but coming back home was a big thing. And playing for Coach Drayton. When I met Coach Drayton, I liked the guy. I think he's a good leader of men, and I was really excited to play for him.
Man, me and San Fran is on the high like it's gold doves. Your career been going up and down like when shoulders shrug. No plan on using the advice you niggas giving us. If I fall, I'll just run it off like I'm Forrest Gump. Boogie down, I got you niggas shook like I'm B-Love. Fishy places, I don't go in my city like the G clubs. Yeah, iPhone is on, but understand it ain't no reaching us. Ran through, but posting on the gram like we all scrubs. I swear it shows, I always smile when I'm pissed off. Wonder where you from, cause it ain't matching what you giving up.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Hype Round. I'm Shy AMG. Of course, I'm joined by David Moore.
Let's get it.
And Courtney G, as usual. We have a special guest, South Carolina native. He's a former player of the year. He graduated from Summerville High, regional champion, all-region, first team. He is the quarterback now for the Citadel Bulldogs, Liberty University alumnus, Johnathan Bennett.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Welcome. Excited to be here.
Welcome in, my man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
How you doing today?
Doing well.
Good?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Watching football.
Thanks for coming out and joining us. I know it was a little bit of a drive, but we appreciate it.
It's all good. Excited to be here.
Yeah, man. So first off, how's it feel to be back? You know what I mean? Back in Charleston, back in the city that you know what I mean, called your home. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's awesome. You know, when I decided to hit the portal, I wanted to move closer to home because it was kind of hard for my whole family to get up there all at one time to watch a game. So I'm excited to be back and play in front of them and have some friends in the stands as well.
Yeah, so we'll kind of jump right into it. Can you talk us a little bit through your decision? I know that you had several opportunities, and you know it's always hard. I transferred myself when I played quarterback back in the day, and especially you graduated from Liberty. You know what I mean? You grew up there, right? Like on the football field as a player, as a person, right? Everything about you, you know, that's your family. So take us a little bit through that decision, and then why'd you choose the Citadel?
Yeah, no, it was a tough one because I was there for 5 years, and some of my best friends are at Liberty, and I appreciate the relationship that I had with them. But at the same time, I wanted to play. I wanted to give myself one more opportunity to play, and I had a couple offers, but coming back home was a big thing. And playing for Coach Drayton. When I met Coach Drayton, I liked the guy. I think he's a good leader of men, and I was really excited to play for him.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. And I saw too that Coach Call he's your head coach at Summerville, right? So, what role did he play in your recruitment?
He definitely played a role. It was more like once I hit the portal, he called me and he was like, I mean, we had a chance to do it one more time if you want. Like,
dang.
You know, we did it for 4
That's
years.
big
You know,
time.
we can finish it off together too. So. Yeah, he played a role in it as well.
That's awesome, man. And I kind of want to go back a little bit. Like, talk me through your time at Liberty. Like, I've been knowing about you, you know, for a while. You've obviously had lots of opportunity to play, but never really that opportunity to have your own team, right? And I know that obviously that's a big, you know, drive for you coming to the Citadel. But talk us through your time at Liberty. Obviously, you had a pretty special 2022 year. So talk me through.
Yeah, my time at Liberty was a bumpy one. You know, there was ups and downs as, you know, every college career is, but I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I think I made the best decision for me coming out of high school. You know, it was hard sometimes, you know, going from playing and pulling you, then playing and pulling. So I mean, it trained me. It trained me to be prepared all the time, and you know, I'm grateful for it. You know, it was tough, but you know, we get through it. And
yeah, no doubt. I think really the big thing, you know, I take from there is just what kind of character that builds in a quarterback. Like quarterbacks, it's so hard for us to, you know what I mean? We're so much about getting into a rhythm and, you know what I mean, building that congruency with your receivers and the staff and the play caller and stuff. And when you're asked to step in and play, and then you got to come out and you're always feeling like there's something over your shoulder, like it can definitely get hard. So, you know, been with you there on that, and you know, the resiliency that you were able to build during that time is going to lead you, you know, to do something special this year with Coach Drayton, for sure.
Yeah, it's tough playing a quarterback when you can't, like, when you're afraid to make mistakes. That's when you.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Yeah.
You're gonna make every mistake.
Exactly.
Man, for
exactly.
sure.
I kind of wanted to go back a little farther with
Mm-hmm.
like your childhood and, you know, your upbringing and being from Summerville and like how football even started for
Mm-hmm.
you and all of that. So just kind of give us a rundown of, you know, how it all started.
Yeah, so I grew up in Somerville, born and raised. I lived with my grandma and my grandpa, my mom and my sister all in one house. My uncle and my aunt, they lived like 10 minutes away, and they would come over every day. So it was like everybody was at the house all the time, squeezed up in that 2-bedroom house. But yeah, everybody was there, and actually, I wanted to play basketball to start. That's what I really liked first, and then I played through middle school. When I was younger, I played the Sertoma, you know that. I played in middle school, and then first day of high school practice, like tryouts, I was actually asleep. Like, I wasn't going to go to football practice.
Wow.
I was like, I'm done with it. I'm going to just play basketball. Then my grandma was like, nah, if you're living in my house, you're going to go play football. So
Right.
she drove me to football practice, and yeah, that's how really football, like competitive football, actually started for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you come from like a very family-oriented household.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I got 2 big families, so I feel that. Yeah.
What was your favorite teams like growing up? Like, was it like a favorite player that you had? Or?
I was really a bandwagon fan when I was a kid. Every team that was winning, I wanted to watch them play every time. So,
And kind of on that same line of questioning, like, and I know this one is a little bit different. You definitely probably have an answer for this. Like growing up, like what, you know, once you started, you know, really starting to take quarterbacks seriously, like were there any quarterbacks that you tried to model your game after, or you felt like that's who you wanted to be like, who you looked up to, type of deal?
So it was my sophomore year. That's when I got my first offer from Coastal Carolina. That's when I was like, okay, I think I need to start taking this football thing a little serious. And then that's when I started really watching Deshaun Watson.
Okay.
I really liked his game at Clemson. He was a freshman there when I was a sophomore in high school, so I watched him a lot. So.
Yeah, no doubt. I definitely see a lot of that in your game too. Like, definitely someone who does most of their damage from the pocket and yet has that escape and creativity in their game. So I was the same way, man.
Yeah.
I graduated high school in 2016, so a little bit older than you, but I was the same way, man. Coming up, being a Georgia boy, he's from Georgia as well.
Yeah.
So Deshaun Watson he was definitely, you know, the first like hero for a lot of, you know, black quarterbacks that were like kind of pocket passers, but were able to do that work with their legs. So I feel you on that. How about now? You know what I mean? Things change. There's lots of new quarterbacks. Like who do you like now?
Right now I really like Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts, like just his story of how he, you know, he stayed at Alabama when it wasn't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, similar to you, right?
Yeah, and then, you know, asked to come in, wins the SEC championship for him that one year. Then goes to Oklahoma, you know, has a great year, and then everybody doubts him on the Eagles, you know, when he gets there, and he makes the best of it. So
no doubt.
Yeah, I really like Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, so let's dive into your high school recruiting a little bit, because I know that's something that you remember and I'm sure think about and stuff, and I know for myself too. You know, having different offers, going on visits and stuff, you always wonder, like, should I have went there or whatever the case, should I have went to this school? I saw you had App State, Coastal, Liberty, obviously. Like, what drew you to Liberty? And just, like, talk us through, like, what it was like getting recruited for you.
Yeah, recruitment kind of, it wasn't as crazy as, you know, some of the stories that you hear about these kids getting, like, 30, 40 offers. And, it wasn't that crazy, but... No, so I remember the day that Liberty came to visit me, we had a spring practice that day, and Coach Joe Daly, he was Turner Gill's quarterback coach. He was there, and he got there at 3 o'clock, like during my workout when we lifted, and he stayed until the end of practice. Wow. And that was like 6:30.
Wow.
And he watched every rep of the weight room, every rep on the field, like, and I was like, okay, this guy was like serious, right? So I think that's what really drew me to Liberty, him and Coach Gill. So yeah.
Yeah, man. That's big time. And, you know, something else that's really interesting, I mean, even since you were in high school, you know, I coach quarterbacks out here, and you know, a big thing is people always say, like, oh, like, there's no quarterbacks in the low country, like, you know what I mean? Even the receivers are hurt by it because they don't have anybody to throw them the ball. And so I really want to emphasize, like, how big it is to, as a quarterback, go D1, major D1 out of Charleston. Like, when you were coming up, like, what was that like for you? Did you, like, kind of have that in the back of your head that, like, hey, not many guys around here are going D1? Like, I'm from Atlanta, and literally, even at my high school, the 2 quarterbacks that started before me both went D1. I went D1, you know, just 5 miles down the road, Josh Dobbs went to Tennessee. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it was like D1 quarterbacks everywhere. So I knew like, hey, if I ball out, I'm going D1. But you didn't really have that. Like there wasn't like, you're not looking over your shoulder at, Goose Creek or wherever and saying like, oh, there's a big time quarterback from there. So how do you know that you're gonna, or, feel like you're gonna go D1 from a place where not many quarterbacks can do that?
I think that's the power of social media now. You can get on the phone and see so many people in your class going D1, and it's like, it wasn't, a ton here, but I mean, there's a ton everywhere,
Oh yeah.
And it's all over Twitter and stuff. So I didn't really focus on, I want to go like Division I. I just wanted to further, playing college football.
Yeah.
So.
No doubt, man.
How was it like going up there and being away from your family and stuff like that? Because I know like I'm from Greenville, South Carolina, and I came to the College of Charleston, and even though it's 2.5, 3 hours away, I still was kind of away from my family, and being from a very family oriented, gathering or whatever, I miss my family and stuff.
Yeah.
So how was it like?
Yeah, it was tough at first, but then my parents taught me growing up to be independent.
Okay,
They
that's
taught
good.
me how to do my own thing and go
Yeah.
about it my own way. So it was an easier transition for me than
Yeah.
most.
Yeah.
I've seen my fair share of guys that get to Liberty who are from California or Texas, and they're homesick. But
Yeah.
but it was 6 hours. Like it's not terrible.
Did you
That's a
come
drive.
home often,
Yeah.
or like did your family come and see you?
I came home a lot when I was younger.
Okay.
And then once I started getting older and paying rent and stuff,
Yeah.
like I was saying,
Take it every day counts.
That's right.
yeah, exactly. But yeah,
Before you made your decision to go to Liberty, did you kind of second guess it at all because you had so many other options, or was it kind of like a confident, like, all right, I'm just gonna?
well, yeah. So that's a funny story. So I had an official visit at Liberty, right? They were playing Norfolk State. I was there. I met with Coach Gill on Sunday because I had already graduated because I graduated early. I had already graduated. I was out of classes. I was ready. I was going to go in like a week. And then I met with him on Sunday. Then on Tuesday he announced he was retiring from Liberty.
Wow.
2 days later. So I was kind of stuck, like there was not much I could have done to go somewhere else. So I mean, thankfully Coach Freeze, honored my commitment, and I still went to Liberty, but it was a weird transition to start,
Yeah, that is crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I can only imagine the coach that recruited you, you know what I mean, that you're looking forward to playing with. And, that's the thing about college football. Like, you've had 2 head coaches, right, now, because
Yep.
Coach Freeze left, and Coach Chadwell is the head
Yep,
coach
Coach
right now?
Chadwell's there, yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously, like, Coach Freeze is a legend and all that kind of stuff. Was Malik Willis was there during your time too?
Yep.
Right? Can you want to talk a little bit about what you saw in Malik? I know Malik personally as well. He's from not too far from where I'm from, and I grew up working out with him and all that kind of stuff. So talk a little bit about, your experience with Malik and yeah.
Yeah, our relationship, me and Malik became very close in that 2021 season.
Right.
I was his backup, and I see Malik do some crazy things on the field that I have never seen before in my life. And that guy works hard, and I'm proud of him.
For sure. Good stuff, man.
I kind of just want to know, sorry, I've just been thinking, being in Virginia, I've never actually seen, Liberty campus and stuff like that, but when you think about Virginia, you kind of just think about nothing but fields and nothing really out there. So, what was the social life out there when you were at Liberty?
It was different.
It was different?
Yeah.
Not like Charleston.
No, it's not like Charleston. It was different. But, there's great people up there.
That's
There's
good.
great people everywhere. So, there's great people, but it is different, though.
Yeah.
It is different up there.
Yeah. Can you kind of just talk about, what you were studying and, what got you into, that major and stuff while you were out there?
I graduated from Liberty with a business sports management degree, and then now I'm in my master's. I did a year of my master's at Liberty in sports management, and now I'm finishing my last year at the Citadel.
That's amazing.
How did you balance football, the social life, and your actual books? How were you able to do that?
Liberty, now there's not much of a social life at Liberty. There's not much to do. So, I mean, that part is easy. That part was easy for me because, grades are due, on Mondays. So, I mean, you can go out, you can do whatever. But we had study hall hours as well. So, just practice in the morning, and then you come back, you can do your homework or whatever, then you can hang out, with your teammates after. So it's not that hard.
I kind of want to talk about your decision to come to the Citadel again. Now, obviously, the Citadel didn't have a great year last year, and I was thinking back. So in high school, I was committed to SMU first.
Okay.
So I was committed to SMU, and they ended up going 0-10 for that year that I was committed to them. I ended up decommitting and going somewhere else, and it kind of scared me that they went 0-10, but the next year they ended up going like 6-7 or something, and then the year after that they're 10 wins bowl season, and now like they're ACC team, like they're powerhouse school that you can count on for 10 wins a year.
Yep.
Talk to us a little bit about the maturity level that it takes to go to a school that wasn't great last year, but that that you're going to be building something great.
Yeah, I hesitated a little bit, when I first got into the portal, and I first got that offer from the Citadel. I was like, okay, yeah, they did go 0-11, but the thing is, if you go in that locker room, they're not 0-11 guys in there.
Right.
Those guys work hard. Those guys, they're good football players too, and we just had to put that together, and I just want to be part of the solution,
Yeah, and I think it's going to be historic, bro. I mean, like you mentioned, I've seen some of those guys work out. Like, there's talent all over the field at all positions, especially the wide receiver position, right? And I think obviously, there's going to be growing pains the first year doing something different than, what was going on before. So I think we're all excited to have you in Charleston and to be leading this team. Just being around in the city, everyone's buzzing about your commitment. I coach at Oceanside Collegiate, and, some of the coaching staff went to the Citadel. And all of them are, very excited that you're coming, and it is going to be something special.
Yeah.
So just wanted to know that you've got the support of the whole city behind you, and we're ready to see you rock and roll.
Appreciate that. Yeah,
For
I'm
sure,
ready to go too.
I kind of just want to touch base too on like Liberty and Citadel are two different schools. So like describe to us like the change of, going from one school to, Citadel's pretty strict, going to a stricter school.
Yeah.
Like what
So
what's it
Liberty,
like?
so at Liberty, everything's changing, right? They're building new buildings. Everything's new. Everything's new. At the Citadel, the tradition is just so rich, and there's just so much to learn. And I'm just excited about that because obviously I don't have to do the the cadet. When you get there as a freshman, you got to do you got to go through the cadet program. So I don't have to do that, but I still want to learn about it. I don't want to just be naive and act like, because those guys, I mean, they gotta go do PT, they gotta do and practice and work. They have to. There's so much on their plate, where I don't have to do that, but I'm trying to learn so that we can all experience it together.
Yeah, that's nice. That's really nice.
So I want to kind of go back again, to Summerville, right? And just like your experience coming up as a quarterback. Did you have any mentors who were kind of working with you, kind of helping to build your talent, maybe a high school coach, maybe a private coach, something like that? And then what advice would you give to young quarterbacks now? I train a quarterback who goes to Summerville High School right now. He's got a couple offers. He has a chance.
That kid's good.
Yeah, he's good.
That kid's good, yeah.
Exactly. So like, what would you say to him? You know what I mean? In the same shoes that you were in before, right? So yeah.
What I would tell him, because this is what I struggled with a little bit growing up, was comparison. I tried to compare myself to like what other people were doing, what offers they were getting, all this other stuff. But what I would tell him is just focus on your own path. You get better each day, and the offers are coming for him already, but the offers will continue to come, and you'll keep getting better, and then that'll prepare you for college. Because once you get to college, everybody's good, and everybody has the same, if not better, talent than what you have. But what's going to separate is how much better you're getting each day compared to them.
No doubt. Yeah, that's great advice. And then something else too. I mean, you can just look at the college football landscape and see where things are at in terms of quarterbacks, right? Like you have a guy, and I don't mean to name drop, but he doesn't know me, I don't know him. But a guy like Julian Sayin, right, who goes to Alabama, is there for a semester. Now he's at Ohio State, right?
Yeah.
A semester, and he's already transferred, right? And then you look at someone like yourself who's stuck with it behind a top 3 round quarterback and then a young quarterback, right? Like, what made you stick there the whole time? Like, why didn't you leave after, the 2022 season or whatever?
I think the guys in the locker room at Liberty, Those are great guys. And if I'm being completely honest, I was a little bit scared of change. I don't really like change.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I think that being a part of that group in that locker room really kept me in there for a long time. And, I wish things would have went different at Liberty, but at the same time, I'm thankful to be here.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't trade any of the experiences that I had.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely shapes who you are. I say the same thing. I went to the University of Memphis out of high school, and I was there for 2.5 years, and I ended up transferring. And similar to you, like, I wish things would have worked out. I even got less playtime than you know what I mean? I didn't start a single game. I just got mop-up duty here and there. But I have nothing negative to say about the University of Memphis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That experience helped make me who I am. When I transferred to Central Michigan, I ended up taking a ton of that experience with me, and it led to my success in the future. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
So just wondering, as the seasons go on, have you adjusted your training at all? Like, have you changed anything? Like, switch out your diet? How you prepare?
So as the season, you talking about like in season? Yeah, as in season goes on, I kind of have to do more, towards the back end of the season because, playing quarterback at practice, you're not running that much. You're not, you know what I'm saying? So, it's fine, in fall camp and the beginning of the season it's hot, you're still getting your calorie, sweated off. But, when it starts getting cold, you're not running as much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That could start building up. So I find myself having to do a little bit more at the back end of the season to, stay healthy.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. When I play quarterback, you're a bigger fella than me, you know what I mean? For me, the same thing like you said, especially like when you're a backup, like when I was at Memphis, as the season goes on, like I'm finding myself, I'm getting a little skinnier, you know what I mean? Like I'm losing a little weight, like I need to so when I was a starter, it's a similar situation. Your body's beat up and stuff, and yet you still need to be in the weight room, you know what I mean? Making sure that you're, keeping that muscle mass on you and stuff like that. So I think that's an interesting point. I haven't thought about that in a while.
Yeah. Especially as a backup, it's hard, when you're just sitting, on the sideline the whole time.
Yeah.
You can find yourself not, in the best shape or not feeling the best, at practice. So just trying to, keep the ball still rolling.
100%.
So tell me, I don't know because I didn't play football. I played basketball, but how intense are those practices?
They're intense towards the beginning of the year. Once the year goes on, you've got just trying to get your horses to the race, basically. You're just trying to get everybody healthy, and so you're healthiest at the end of the year because the team that is the healthiest at the end of the year is going to end up winning most of the time. You know what I'm saying? So at the beginning, though, it is intense. At quarterback, it's not that it's not crazy intense, but the energy is definitely up.
Yeah, so think about it like this is really how it works. Throughout summer and throughout fall, there's so many competitions at every position, right? Like really, even if you're like a returning starter, right? Like they're gonna be, giving other kids reps. It's gonna be competition. Like you have a standard that you have to, chase, especially playing, high level college football. So throughout the summer, throughout fall camp, like they're going to be pushing you really hard. The intensity is going to be high. And even like for the quarterback, it's more mental for us. Like they're going to be pushing us in the film room, and then on the field, you're getting graded from practice and stuff like that. So it's really a mental push for quarterbacks, and for other positions, it's physical and that kind of stuff. But it's just high intensity practices, like you mentioned. But as the season goes on, it's like, okay, these are the starters. Like we're really not trying to have much competition during the year, so it just really turns into like more learning and growing and trying to keep everybody, like you mentioned, healthy to finish the year out.
Yeah, and also it starts getting game plan specific too. Like you're not really like the first offense, in most of the year, they don't go against the first defense in practice, as the year goes on. So just getting ready for the next team each week is also a part of that too.
Yeah, shoot, I played point guard all through high school and through college, and we used to do one-on-one drills full court.
During the year too?
Yes, full court.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's different though, because y'all will do that in the game though, so you gotta stay like on.
Yeah, but I ain't really have like in high school I ain't really have handle like that. So I used to back my way up the court the whole way for real.
I kind of want to dive into like personal life. We got the athletes here.
Okay.
I'm still learning about all the sports and stuff. I was a swimmer, so when it comes to football and basketball and all of that, But I kind of want to dive into like your personal life outside of football and outside of school and stuff like that. Like, what is your life like? Like, what is your daily like routine or like a day in the life?
On an off day, because it can get treacherous, during the week. But no, on an off day, I like to go home. Like since I'm here now, my apartment is like 20 minutes from my mom's house, so I like to go home. I like to hang out with them. I like to play golf. Yeah, I've gotten into golf the past year. Huh?
Where you play?
I played at Shadow Moss yesterday, actually.
Okay. You got to go to Berkeley and Monk's Corner.
They got a golf course over there? Mm-hmm. I didn't know Berkeley had much over there. But yeah, no, I like to golf. I like to hang out with my family. I got some friends here. We can get on the game and get on FaceTime,
Yeah. So like, what's the relationship like with your family, like siblings or and your parents and stuff like that?
Yeah, I got a sister. She's 15 at Summerville High School. My mom, best friend. I don't know my father. Didn't grow up with him. As I mentioned, my grandpa passed away in 2016. That's okay. It's all good. And then my aunt and my uncle. So.
Tell me probably one of your favorite memories, like from your childhood. Did y'all ever go on vacations, or do y'all have any traditions or stuff that
I wouldn't say we didn't really go on like a family. We have never been on a family vacation.
Wow.
But I would say just sporting events. Them coming to the game, coming to games. We're going to get something to eat. We'll go get something to eat. Just things like that. We didn't do anything like crazy out of the ordinary, but just
Yeah, just enjoying each other's company.
Yeah.
Man. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Kind of switching gears a little bit back to the football side of things. Obviously with, you're coming up on your last year, right? So obviously, it's time to get cooking, right? We got the NFL, the XFL, right? There's CFL, right? There's a ton of professional opportunity now. It seems now more than ever. So obviously we're, God willing, right? That's something's gonna work out for you, right? Like God willing, you're getting drafted, right? This time, next year. But let's say that doesn't happen. Obviously, with your degree and you're working on your master's now. What's the plan like for you in terms of jobs?
I want to coach whenever I get done. Yeah. So
Awesome.
I want to be a high school coach. The college thing is just so hard with NIL transfer. Like it's just crazy.
They gotta be stressful.
Yeah, like I feel for those coaches sometimes, man, because they go through a lot. And so I would like to coach high school whenever I get done.
That's awesome. Yeah, you got to get up with me, man. I coached this year at Oceanside Collegiate for the first time. This was my first time ever coaching.
Okay.
And I didn't even know if it was something that I really wanted to do or not. I kind of had the opportunity to just come be the quarterback's coach, right? And so I ended up doing that, and I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Man. And as the year went on, especially because I'm not playing anymore, I was just private coaching, but being involved in the team and the team atmosphere and my role continued to grow as the year went on, and we ended up winning the state championship.
Oh, wow,
And it was crazy, man. And
how was your Q? Your Q was pretty good this year?
He was good. So we had two, and it was a crazy story, actually. So we had a senior quarterback, big fella, probably 6 foot, 220, could really sling the rock, and he had a good year. But unfortunately, in the last game of the year, he tore his ACL. And so coming up behind him, we had a junior and a freshman that we were kind of like, okay, well, let's play both of them and kind of see how that pans out. And both of them did well. And you could even say maybe equal, but the freshman really showed us some things that we were kind of very impressed with. And so for the 4th round and then to the state championship, we rode with the freshmen. And
and you won.
And we won in the lower state. He threw 4 touchdowns, and then he followed that up in the state championship with over 350 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
44 attempts. Like, he absolutely killed it, and he actually got
doing that as
offer.
a freshman that's crazy.
Yeah, and he got a scholarship offer too afterwards, and so he's gonna be a big time kid, and really that was so fun for me because as a quarterback, we had our starter, and everything was easy with him. You know what I mean? He knew the offense just like the back of his hand.
Yeah.
When we're going through the plays and the game sheet and the reads and everything, it's bang, 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 nice and easy, right? So we don't have anything to worry about. But once he went down, it kind of, became a little bit more like, hey, like I got to lock in with these guys, right? And so that's more fun as a coach too, locking in with the freshman and the junior and the receivers and everybody kind of had to come together as a team to help the quarterback situation out.
Man, that's awesome.
So it was awesome.
Winning the state championship as a freshman I don't even think I throw the ball 20 yards as a freshman.
Right, dude. It's crazy. Kids are different nowadays too, though, you know what I mean? Like, especially like with all like the private quarterback training and stuff and how intense that stuff gets. Like, kids are like ready to rock and roll nowadays.
Yeah, that's wild.
But yeah, we gotta say that again.
Congratulations to him.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it was awesome. But yeah, we gotta hang out. I can introduce you to a bunch of like head coaches from around here. And stuff like that, and get you connected up.
Yeah, sweet.
That'd be awesome, man.
Yeah.
Real quick, I do want to ask, so you are reuniting with your high school teammate, Andre Banks. How does that feel?
Yeah, no, that feels awesome. me and Andre, we've been friends since we were youngins, and he went off to Newberry, I went off to Liberty, and then coming back together for our last year, man, it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, that's a blessing.
Yeah,
for sure.
Who are some of your inspirations? I know we kind of touched on a little bit like that earlier on, but even outside of football, like, what are some
I'll say
of your
my family.
Your family?
It's hard going through it's hard going through that summer, that winter. Like, man,
it's the worst.
Yeah, it's the worst part of the year. But just getting through that, I just want to make my family proud, and that's what I try to do. That's what I try and think about when it's those days where it's like, man, I don't want to get up, I don't want to run, I don't want to lift, I don't want to do anything. It's just like they would push me to go, so I'm going to do it for them,
Yeah. Now, being an adult now and living on your own, you're not kind of with your family as much to get you up out of bed and tell you to go do this. So, like, how do you push yourself to do that when you feel like you have your off days?
I would say experiences, because the way I look at it is, it sucks getting up at 5 a.m. to go run, but my teammate's doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he's doing it, and they're not complaining about it. So why should I feel entitled that I don't have to do it either?
Kind of like there's like no excuse.
There's no excuse. Everybody else is doing it. So.
I kind of want to touch on that for a second, and this is going to be a great piece So I want you to speak to the young quarterbacks right now who are looking to go D1, because you and I both know the level of pressure and the level of detail, commitment to detail, and the competition that it takes at that next level. So like when you asked that question, the first thing I thought of in my head was, well, you better do it because you know what I mean?
Somebody else is doing it.
Somebody else is
You're getting out recruited every year.
Yeah, exactly.
The coaches, even if you're the starter, the coach is like, let me see if I can get someone better.
Especially nowadays with the portal, how you could just get a new starter.
Yeah.
Right? And I want you to talk about what it takes to play quarterback mentally in college.
Yeah, it's that's a loaded question. It takes a lot, and it's hard. And there's days where you doubt yourself, but what I would say is you fall back to the level of your training, and if you've practiced it, you repped it, you went in the film room and you saw it and you learned from it, then there's no confusion on what you can do.
Right.
So don't doubt yourself because you miss a throw or you don't say you made a wrong read. You've done it many a times. Just do it again.
Right.
Do it again and do it again until you can't get it wrong.
Right. Confidence comes from preparation.
Yes.
Right. So you stay prepared, then you'll be ready. Something else I want to talk about is how do you go about managing your relationships with the quarterback's coach, offensive coordinator, and the head coach, right? Because we know that the level of expectation, for performance, there's different dynamics, right? Like you'll have a coach that's going to be, maybe the quarterback's coach is like a little bit more like, of your supporter, right?
Yeah.
And then the head coach maybe is going to be a little bit harsher on you, right? How did you go about throughout Liberty with Coach Freeze and Coach Chadwell? Like, how did you go about managing your relationship with the different coaches on the offensive staff?
Yeah, it's hard. It was hard. It was kind of hard at Liberty because it was kind of like you're hearing two voices sometimes, because our quarterback's coach, he called third down, and that was the guy that we we met with every day, and he tell us something, right? And then we get out on the field and we do it. Coach Freeze asks, why are we doing it? And it's like,
right, it's not like you're gonna just sit there.
It's like
you're gonna say yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I'll do it the way you did it. And then coach was like, okay. Then when we get back in the film room, then it's all like we'll figure it out. But like those first kind of like, if we're going to run a play like this and he wants us to read it this way, Coach Freeze was like, why didn't we do this? Throw it over here. I want him to read it this way.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? It was it was hard at Liberty with Coach Freeze and them because, you know, Coach Freeze actually called first and second down and third and short.
That's weird. I never heard about that.
Yeah, and Coach Austin called third and long at Liberty.
Wow.
So it's a little hard there, but it was easier with Coach Shadwell because the quarterback coach Willie Korn, he called everything.
Right.
So you heard one voice, you know.
Yeah.
And Coach Shadwell was just kind of back there, you know what I'm saying, still coaching, but you know good thing I liked about Coach Shadwell, he let his coaches coach.
Right.
You know, and he just observed really, and then you know he was the higher voice obviously, but he let everybody coach, and I think that was a great deal.
Yeah, that's awesome, and it's always going to be different, which is something that people got to think about. And when high schoolers are thinking about, you know, going to school, it's not something that to base your decision off of, but definitely just kind of get an understanding of, you know, what that dynamic is going to be. So, for example, when I was at Memphis, Mike Norvell was the head coach. Obviously, he's the head coach at Florida State now. He was the quarterback's coach, and obviously he was the head coach. So he would be in our meetings with us, running the meetings, you know, teaching us, telling us everything. And then on the field, he called it as well. So it's very clear for us, you know, at Memphis and the quarterbacks at Florida State, they know exactly what their expectation is.
I've never heard of that. The head coach being the quarterback coach as well?
Yeah, he was the quarterback's coach. So how it worked is there's an actual quarterback's coach as well. His name was Kenny Dillingham. He's the head coach at Arizona State now. So he was the quarterback's coach, but Coach Norvell liked to be heavily involved with the quarterbacks. So he would come in the meeting rooms, like let's say we had an hour and a half of meeting. Coach Norvell would come in for the first 30 minutes, and like if we had an install or something, he would install it, tell us how he wanted us to read it, everything, and then he would leave, and then our quarterbacks coach would, you know, watch practice with us, go through everything.
Gotcha. I got it.
But it was like always like very, you know, it was very clear. And then similarly at Central Michigan, we had our offensive coordinator, Charlie Fry, who called everything. And the head coach was involved too, but it was, you know, it's a singular voice. So I never really had to experience that where it's like, you know, two different sides.
It was hard in games sometimes too, because like you get on the phone and Coach Austin, he tells you something, right? And then we get on the field and you don't do it right, and then you hear something different from Coach Freeze. It was just sometimes it was just hard.
It's like you're running an RPO or something, and your coach is like, hey, listen, that cover 4 safety's coming down, like pull it and throw the post, and then you pull it, and then your head coach is like, hey, hand the ball off, right? And you're like, yeah. So that's interesting. Good stuff.
Now, as an athlete, I know that like things could get really stressful, you know, having to juggle school and then your coaches on top of it. So how do you kind of like your mental health? Like, let's just kind of touch on your mental health. How do you, you know, juggle those things, stress and pressure? You know, are there certain things that you do, like maybe journaling or reading a book or listening to a song that kind of helps you get back to that headspace? Yeah,
when I'm feeling like everything's just getting jumbled and there's a lot going on, I just like to, so like in high school, I like to just drive down to the beach and I would just sit on the pier. That's what I did in high school and everything got a little weird. In high school or in college at Liberty, there ain't no beach. So not much you can do. So like when I felt everything was just getting jumbled up, I would just call my mom or something and I like to watch TV. Like TV, I can just shut all my devices off, you know, whatever, and I just like to watch Netflix. So
what's one of your favorite shows?
I just got done watching, I'm watching SWAT.
Okay.
You know, it's not really like a, you know, a show, but I'm watching SWAT. I watch Money Heist, if you've ever seen that. It's a great show.
I heard a lot of people watch it.
Yeah, Money Heist is a great show. You know, I like just watching just some TV, some movies, you know. I'm watching the John Wicks right now. I've actually never seen them.
Yeah.
I've never seen John Wick before.
I've seen the first.
Never seen John Wick.
Yeah.
Is that bad?
I haven't seen it either.
Well, I haven't seen it either. I saw the first one the other day.
That's like an action movie staple.
Yeah, I know, man. I've never seen
I love
one,
action
bro.
movies, man.
So I do want to touch on something real quick. Kind of playing on the same side of the mental health. I was in the same situation growing up where I didn't have my dad in the picture. It was just my grandma, and it was 9 of us that lived in one house in New York. So how did you maneuver through that, not having a dad? And I know you probably had the mentality of, I wanted to take the pressure off my mom and my grandparents. I don't want them to stress. I kind of want to be the man. So how did you maneuver through that?
That's why sports was such a big thing for me. You know, I wanted to go to college and I wanted to graduate. So I think getting a scholarship to go there full ride, they don't have to pay for anything. There's no loans on me. That was a big thing. And another big thing was my whole family was there at the house. Like, it wasn't just like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't just my mom or it wasn't just my grandma. It was everybody. It was a collective. So I think that was a big. They never let me like stress. Like, you know, I had a few, like, you know, sometimes where I would be upset about it. But they never like put that pressure on me. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Yeah, I mean, talk about what. Now, this is it's a kind of open-ended question, but you know, everyone will have a different answer, especially, you know, someone like yourself who's, you know, played quarterback at the Division I level. Like, what does hard work mean to you? Like, what does determination mean to you? Like, just explain answer the question however you feel like it hit.
The way I look at hard work is, like, you know, what we do, like, for workouts, hard work. You know, getting out, running, conditioning, then you go in the lift, but then it's what else are you doing after that? You know, everybody's doing the same thing. So are we all just getting a little bit better? What can you do to push yourself to get better even more? Whether that's watch some film, maybe get a little stretching in, extra workout, you know, throwing, whatever it is. But in college, you see that everybody does the same thing. You know, everybody does the same workouts, everybody, whatever, but it's what you're doing extra.
No doubt.
That will separate you from everybody else.
Yeah, and that's a great answer. And I just saw something. Shout out to my mentor Quincy Avery. He made this quote, and it was talking about hard work. And you know, a lot of kids like nowadays want to work hard if they see there's going to be a goal at the end of it, right? Like, you want to work hard if you know at the end of it you're going to get a D1 scholarship, or if at the end of it you know you're going to make it to the NFL. But what real hard work is working hard without the promise of anything coming next, because the fruits of your labor will show no matter what. Something is going to come on it.
You will get your opportunity at the most, you know, it's the time at the time that you think like it's not going to happen. I remember we played in 22, the start of that year. We played Southern Miss, right? I had lost the quarterback battle that fall camp, and I was a terrible, like, I didn't watch film, I didn't show up to practice and whatever, like, I didn't care. And then third play of the game, a starting quarterback breaks his thumb, and I got to play in the third play of the game, and that was probably the worst game of football I've ever played.
Yeah, man.
And it was bad. It was bad because I didn't prepare. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And so, but you learned a lesson in that moment, right?
Yeah.
Don't let your opportunity humble you. I had a similar situation where in 2019, this is showing my age, that was my junior year,
You swear you're so old. I can't.
But I'm the oldest one here. Right? Okay. No, I'm playing. But,
About 2 years, we get it.
But yeah, my junior year, I lost the battle in fall camp to Quentin Dormady, who's a great guy. Shout out to him. And so week one, they put me in trash time, you know what I mean? But similar to you, like, I'm like a little bit checked out, you know what I mean? It's like you put so much into it that, like, when you lose, it's a little bit, it's tough, you know what I mean?
It is.
And so week two, I don't play at all. Week three, we go up to Wisconsin, and I'm on the headset, you know, I'm like helping signal or whatever, like call plays, you know the deal, backup quarterback, you doing whatever.
Yeah, signaling whatever.
Yeah, whatever, you doing whatever. So I'm on the headset. And all of a sudden I hear, if he messes up one more time, put more in. And in my head, I'm like, what? Put me in? What I'm about to do to Wisconsin? You know what I mean? I'm not ready for this. Like, I'm chilling. Like, I'm, you know, maybe complaining with my friends or whatever. Like, that also aren't starting. Like, you know the deal. And so I end up getting in the game. And similar to you, like, I didn't do great. You know what I mean? And, you know, we got killed anyways. But, you know, obviously I got my act together and ended up balling out, but, you know, in the next games. But, you know, it's something to say, like, even if you're a high school kid right now, if you're a junior, I got juniors right now who are not going to be the starters at their high school.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've had parents talk to me and say, well, okay, well, you know, why should he keep, you know, coming to these private sessions and working if he's not the starter at his high school right now? And I'm like, listen, if his dream is to play Division I quarterback, or if his dream is to start at his high school, he's got to be ready for that moment, because that moment will come, right?
It will. And that's something I would say to the younger guys too, is just you got to be ready.
Yes, stay
you got to
ready.
prepare.
I know how you talked about how you got put in and it was like the worst game that you've played. Now, what are some of like the lowest moments that you kind of have encountered during your football career and now, and how you overcame those?
Yeah, I think one of the lowest moments I had at Liberty, we were playing that same game, Southern Miss. I thrown a pick like 3 drives before. We hadn't really moved the ball at all. It was third and 10 or whatever, and we called a sail concept out route with a go, and I threw the out route to a cover 2 corner.
Yeah.
And
That'll do it.
yep, pick 6. I saw him catch. Well, I got hit as I threw it. Then when I turned around, I just hear the crowd like roaring because we're at Southern Miss. I hear them roaring, and I was like, oh, I just threw another pick. And then I looked. I just see him running down the sideline. I'm like, oh man. I'm like, dang.
Did you look at your coach's face when?
Nah, I knew what time it was after that.
You don't want to look at nobody.
I knew
You
what
don't even
time
want
it
to look
was.
at your teammates after you do that, man. I know that.
Looking
feeling.
up like, man, what the?
It's the worst.
But
and then in your head you'd be like, I don't know what's going on.
I tell you, when I saw him run, I was like, man, let me just pull my socks up and go to the sideline.
Right.
Nah, but just, and then, you know, after that, I was pulled after that play. And after, like, the next week, I made a promise to myself that I was going to be prepared no matter what. 'Cause I didn't start the next 2 games after that. I didn't play much. I think I played a little bit against Wake Forest, but nothing crazy. But I told myself that I was going to prepare. You know,
Yeah.
I will be ready for the next time it comes. And you know, I had a good year that year, and I think it was because of that first game that you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No doubt. And all of those experiences,
Experiences.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Experiences.
You got it, Dave.
Yeah. All of those experiences culminate to where you are now, though, and you come across as very mature, right? And maybe in those moments you weren't as mature as you are right now, right?
Yeah.
But all of that leads up to what you're about to do with this Citadel team in 2024, right? You're going to be able to speak to that, to your teammates, to your younger guys, to the quarterbacks in the quarterback room, right? Because you're going to be the leader. And that's going to bring them, and those experiences, they're going to be able to learn from you, right? And that's going to lead to success on the field, 100%. So that's exciting, and that's big time.
Yeah, I'm excited to get with these guys, man. We got a good group of guys over there at the Citadel, and they work hard, and they're really good football players. Like 0-11, you know, on paper it looks terrible, but it's not as far off as it looks.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
And that's another thing that's gonna make you a good coach. Like I draw on my experiences so many times with my younger guys. Like the fact that we've played at a high level and have failed and have succeeded, right? Like you know what it looks like, right? Like you know what success looks like, and you know what failure looks like, and you know what habits, you know, go towards building both of those. So, you know, you've got a great future ahead of you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
I know you just mentioned coaching. I used to be a teacher, so I want to kind of know, like, have you had experience in coaching yet? Like, how are you, like, I know you said high school.
Yeah.
High schoolers. Like, are you, like, ready for it? Like, are you nervous about it? Like, you know, what's going on in your mind?
I'm excited, actually.
Really?
I had the opportunity. I worked with I used to come back to Summerville like in my off seasons in May, because that was our month off from football at Liberty. I would come back and Summerville would have spring practice. So I'd go out there and I would help the quarterbacks, you know, and that was something I really look forward to. And that's really why I was like, okay, I think I want to do this high school football thing. So I'm excited for it.
And we need more quarterback guys in the low country, man. Like, you know, once your football career is over, like, let's go, man.
Yeah.
We need it because these guys are ready and hungry for coaching. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like going back to Summerville High School, working with those quarterbacks, you know, working with others, like it's going to be big time, and this community needs it for sure.
No, yeah, for sure.
Everything looks good right now, man. I mean, is there any pressure going into the season with it being the final season?
Nah, not really. Just go out there and have some fun, man. It's your last go around, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm excited, man. I really am.
That's a great mindset to have, for sure.
Yeah, and then we were 0-11 last year. You know, when people see the Citadel, they'll be like, okay, it's gonna be a win. We're gonna shock some people this year. It's gonna be fun.
No doubt, man.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
get Citadel back to what they were. You know.
Yeah, so
winning the
tell
first
us
one.
tell us a little bit about Coach Drayton and your relationship with him. I've never met him. I don't know him personally. I do know we have some mutual friends throughout the coaching ranks and stuff, but tell us a little bit about him and why did you feel so connected with him?
First, well, he was a legend down here. He played at Berkeley.
Okay.
And you know, he actually knows like my cousin Gregory. That's like his best friend.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I'm just excited. He's a great leader of men. You know, I think his culture that he's building at the Citadel is a great one. And he went to the Citadel. Obviously, he played there. And you know, just playing for him is going to be very exciting.
Nice, man. Yeah, well, we're kind of wrapping things up here. You know, for the people that may not know you in Charleston, you know, who are going to get to know you this year, tell us a little bit about what Citadel football is getting at the quarterback position.
They're gonna get a player that will work hard, that's gonna put everything into it, and that just wants to help. I just want to serve my teammates any way I can, and serve the Citadel and the community in any way I can. So I just hope that people realize that I'm more than just a football player, that I want to be a pillar in this community and for the Citadel as well.
That's amazing, bro. Well, listen, we are so excited to have you here. I'm excited to get to work with you. I'm excited to get to know you better. And thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Can't wait to see you on the field, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Yes, sir.
it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
Good stuff. Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the hype round.
All right.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Good stuff, my boy.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
How you feeling?
Feel good.
Good?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Man, me and San Fran is on the high like it's gold doves. Your career been going up and down like when shoulders shrug. No plan on using the advice you